So every photo you just saw was taken with this bad boy. It's the 70-180 F2.8 from Tamron. You know about it, and you might have seen my full in-depth review, which I'll link up there for you. Well, this is my long-term thoughts of this lens, and apparently Tamron saw my initial video, and I mentioned that I didn't have a full-time 70-200 in my bag at the time because, well, I do personally finance pretty much 99% of everything on the channel, and they're like, well, do you want to have this lens for a long-term review? And I said, no, I couldn't possibly. No, I said absolutely please, and I would be very grateful if you sent this for the long term. So here it is, guys. They did send this to me, but no money exchanged hands, and as always, it's my full, complete, honest opinion. So I'm going to tell you the good and the bad, but thank you, Tamron, so much for sending me this bad boy. It's turned out to be one of my favorite lenses of the year. So let's talk about this thing and the good and the bad and what I like about it and figure out whether or not you should still be considering it. Because, yeah, you know what, at this point there's still not that much available. Primarily we still got the Sony 70-200 f4 and of course the G Master. And this does have 20 millimeters less on the long end, but you don't really notice it, to be honest with you. The fast f2.8 is phenomenal in low light, so you're gonna have a great lens in a multitude of situations. But the one feature that really stands out and makes this probably one of the most versatile wedding lenses for Sony E-mount cameras is its ability to have that incredibly close focusing macro-like ability in manual focus at 70 millimeters. You can get so close with this thing and get some amazing shots of anything, whether you're shooting wedding rings or you're shooting bugs in the garden. It makes this just such a versatile lens, and I love how Tamron has done that with a ton of different things in their lineup. The ability to shoot that close focusing distance is just amazing. So one of my favorite features, but what about the physical characteristics of this lens? Another thing that I love about it is its weight. Obviously the size of it is really good. We'll show you here a quick comparison of this lens versus the 28-75. There it is. So as you can see, a really good size for what it is, but the weight is just amazing. And that means you're not gonna really fatigue if you're gonna take this thing out for the day. It's just really light. Throw it in your bag. It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't take up too much space. It does extend as you zoom, however, but really not that much. That's it. So as you can see, it's less than a quarter turn, and it's really quick target acquisition from 70 all the way up to 180, just like that. Love that about it as well, and it is adequately weather sealed, I have to say. No dust or anything in it, and I have put it through its paces. It has also got a nice little rubber gasket for weather sealing, so you're confident in the rain. So no problems in that regard for me. It does have one lock switch, so if you're moving it around, however, I don't really see a need because even if you're moving around or running, it stays pretty confident where it is there. Now there are no buttons or switches on this guy, meaning the cost is going to be a little bit lower than if you had to put them on there, but it is also lacking image stabilization. And that was a big thing for me at first. I said, well, you know, for a 70-200, if you're throwing it out there, if you've got it on an APS-C camera, that's getting out there. What about image stabilization? Well, honestly, I haven't really had too much of an issue with it. At pretty much no point have I said, oh man, I missed the shot because of this. That f2.8 really does help in low light. So regardless of where you are, this thing's gonna be able to keep up with you. And speaking of speed, the amazing autofocus, lightning fast, like insanely fast. These autofocus systems are the next generation. You only find it in this and their new 150-500, that big telephoto lens, and they do not disappoint. Incredibly quick, completely silent, so you're covered for both photo and video as well. Optically though, what about the actual optics? It is a budget lens, far less than say the G Master, but also comparable. What about optically? Well, it's very sharp, very good optically, which is crazy because you kind of get the best of everything. The size, the weight, and the optics are very good in this lens. I have to say they've done a tremendous job. And with everything Tamron, you do also get a great warranty, like a 6 or 7 year warranty depending on where you're from. That's gonna differ from country to country, but you can feel very confident just knowing that you're covered for that time. So yeah, another great thing about this. Now the price, I think the price is pretty darn good for what it is. You're gonna save a lot of money rather than going with the native Sony. There is no teleconverter option for this guy, but if you are thinking about that route, maybe I just suggest something like a 100 to 400, my go-to for animals and wildlife. But this lens has just been great for portraits, for weddings, which you saw that I did shoot, but also for family, for wildlife, for birds, for pretty much everything. It does a great job across the board, and honestly, I couldn't be happier with this lens. So this is definitely one that's made a spot in my camera bag, and I think it's gonna stay there. Again, thanks so much to Tamron for sending me this bad boy. It's just become a great lens. And I am so excited to see some of the new releases coming out here pretty quick from Tamron. They are just killing it, and probably one of my favorite lens companies now, easily. So why don't we leave it at that, guys? I'll throw up a few more pictures for you to show you exactly what this thing can do in a whole bunch of situations. And if you do have any questions or comments, make sure you drop them down in there so I can hopefully respond to anything that I missed. If you do want to pick this lens up, I'll drop affiliate links as well so you know where to grab that. And thanks so much for watching, guys. Like always, make mistakes, be yourself, and get out there and take some more pictures. See you next time.